Hello ladies, here is an updated curling tutorial and I hope this helps someone out. Here I am using my curling iron. I believe it's a 1 1/4 inch. And then I'm also here spraying heat protectant spray over the complete topper. There's several good brands out there. This is one by Kenra that I really like, but others would work just as well. I have several on my Amazon storefront. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to comb that heat protectant spray that I just sprayed all the way through the hair. And then I'm going to take my curling iron, and you want to make your sections about 1 inch wide. You can go even smaller than that if you want much smaller curls. But I wouldn't advise going over a 1 inch wide section. And here I just take my curling iron and I run it through, like pass it through the hair once or twice before I curl it. And honestly, sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. So I've run it through twice, and here I'm going to start curling the hair. The key here to get the kind of curls that I do is that you want to start curling it from the top to the bottom and not from the bottom to the top. And what I mean is, here I take the hair, and after I run the curling iron through it, I'm going to take the curling iron and I'm going to start it about 1 inch from the root, and there I do a bend. And then you just keep bending and twisting and feeding that hair into the curling iron. And you see there I have a little bit at the end left out. You can do that if you want to have more of a beachy wave on the end. But this is what creates that ribbon-like curl that I do on most of my toppers. So here again, we take like about a 1 inch section, and I'm going to pass the curling iron through just to smooth it out before I curl it. And then when I start to curl it, I start at the top. My cord got tangled there. I start at the top, go about 1 inch down, and then start feeding and twisting, just twisting and twisting. And then you're going to let it sit like that. Here I'm leaving out a bit, about 1 inch at the bottom for a more beach type wave, but you don't have to do that. And then I'm just twisting it out. And that's where it gives you the ribbon-like curls. So the next curl that I'm going to do, and you do want to make sure you comb through the hair before you are curling it. Here I'm going to do a little bit tighter of a curl. I'm going to do it the exact same way, but you see I'm doing it a little bit tighter, holding it a little bit closer to the scalp, if you will. And you see the hair is closer together on the curling iron, as opposed to the first 3 curls that I did were pretty spaced out. So there I'm making a tighter curl, and you can see that compared to those first 3. I'm going to do another one like that where it's a little bit tighter. If you're having trouble with your curls staying, you want to make sure that you do that as tight as possible. And then you want to make sure that you're letting the curls set. If you can style your topper and let it set overnight, it's perfect. Okay, right here, this is an example of what not to do. I took the curling iron and I put it at the bottom of the hair and then rolled it all the way up. And do you see how the difference in the curl? It makes it straight at the top and it just makes a curl at the very bottom. Now, if that's the kind of curl that you want, it's perfectly fine, but that's just not the way I style them. So that's the curl that I do. That's like a ribbon throughout. This is straight and then a curl at the bottom because we did it like this. I took it at the bottom and then I just kind of rolled it up. That's not how I do my curls to create the wave. What is going to happen is when you let it go, it's going to be straight, right, just like that. And then it's going to just curl at the bottom only. So that's 2 like that. And then the ones at the beginning are more of a ribbon type curl that I do. And the way that they're like that is because we start with the curling iron at the top of the head, and then we just bend and keep twisting and twisting. Okay, so now I'm just going to go through and do some more curls like I had done in the beginning, starting at the top and creating that ribbon type curl. Here you're going to see, I think it's right here. Yes, I'm going in the opposite direction. Don't do this at the front or the sides of your hair. If you're going to flip-flop, go one direction and then the other, only do that in the back of your hair. And you do not have to do that. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But what happens if you're curling your topper and you find that the hair seems to bunch all together in the back and just make one big curl instead of separate curls? That's when you want to go to the back and you want to rotate the direction that you go. So here I'm just curling the front exactly the same as we've been doing. And I'm going to make sure that, so here's the curls that I have, and I'm going to make sure that I let this set as long as I can. If you can let it set overnight, that's perfect. Here I take just a dime size amount of a very lightweight oil and put it throughout the hair. But the longer you can let those curls set in, the longer that they will last. I usually only have to touch up my curls once or twice between each wash. But it will also depend on the hair texture, whether it's Brazilian, European, Mongolian hair, and how processed the hair is. If it's a blonde, it might not hold curl as long. Let me know if you have any questions.